Welcome to the Thriving Artist Podcast, where we share strategies and support for artists to thrive.
We know that the art world can feel like a lonely place, and we want to provide a network of support, impactful strategies, and an abundance of encouragement to help you grow your authentic art career.
We're your hosts. I'm Jamie Smith.
And I'm Kaylan Butine, and we are also the co-founders of the Thrive Together Network, a community of female and non-binary identifying artists and artists who are caregivers.
We truly believe in community over competition, and we're so glad you're here. Enjoy this episode. Welcome to another episode of the Thriving Artist Podcast. We're so happy that you are here with us this week. I'm Jamie Smith. I'm one of the hosts of the podcast, and I love the summer months because everyone's in such a good mood. The sunshine helps.
And does the sun actually shine in Canada, Jamie?
Sometimes. We come out of the hobbit holes.
I'm Kaylan Butine, your second host, and I love the summer months because, of course, I get, good high quality time with my kids, and we are usually spending that time outside. Of course, I'm ready for them to go back to school, usually a few weeks in, but those first few weeks of summer are great, but they sleep really well at night in the summer.
A sleeping child is a great child.
Absolutely.
That is my motto.
So we are here to help our members, our listeners, to get set up for a really powerful summer. That's what we want to do today and have a chat about what are some things we can do to ensure that we have a great experience this summer as artists. We really believe that breaks are so important for artists, and we want to help give you the tools to get what you want out of your summer. You can either take a real break from your art, or maybe this is a time where you go into big production mode. I think our tips today are going to cover whatever you need your summer to be and just help you get grounded and engaged with your priorities.
I always think of the summer as such an unwieldy mistress.
Yes.
It's just, you don't know what's going to come your way. It always feels like there's a brewery or a park to head to and sit. And so it's easy to kind of ignore the things that you think you should do. And sometimes that's okay. But we thought having a little bit of a plan beforehand can help you kind of honor your artist life too. Yes. So that at the end of the summer, your future self, you can feel like you fed all the parts of yourself that you needed to.
Yes. Unwieldy mistress is a good way to put it. Those breweries and bikes are always calling. So, all right, here are 5 ways to set yourself up for a great summer. The first thing you can do to set yourself up, number 1, is write it all down. Of course, in our Thriving Artist map, we have a worksheet for all of this, but you can use a journal or a sketchbook or a page. Draw a box, fill it in with everything you want to complete as an artist and in your business this summer. Hopefully there's not too many things, right? Because we are prioritizing rest and a break, but maybe there's some key projects that you want to focus on. Just writing it down, really being honest and realistic about your time and getting those thoughts out on paper will help you clarify your summer ahead.
And in that process, what's really helped me is by doing all of that, I also make sure that I write down the summer obligations. I do feel like summer is a time where people kind of feel like no one should work and there should be time to hang out all the time. So there are things that we have to do. And so by not ignoring those, we don't set ourselves up for failure. And so we want to make sure that we are putting in, the things like weddings and family trips and, really having a full picture of this, because then we can make a plan that we can actually follow and be pretty gentle and realistic with ourselves.
Absolutely. And so the second step to setting ourselves up for a great summer, number 2, is to get clear. So now we have this big list. We filled in the box. We've written down our ideas for what we want to do this summer and our our pre-commitments, our scheduled obligations. We want you to pick 3 things from the list that you really want to get done and prioritize those important things. Get really clear about what is most important to you.
Mm-hmm. And you make it way more done than 3 things. But I love the idea of those extra things being sort of bonus. So you can feel abundant and feel like you got all these things done instead of this huge list where you only got 3 things done and you feel like a failure. So it's just a little reverse trick there to make sure that you feel good about it in the end. So our next thing that we want to do to set ourselves up for a great summer is get specific. And I feel like this is a real challenge because it's so easy to kind of say these large projects. I always use this as an example, but a lot of artists have said to me, I want to redo my website. But there's so many steps for redoing a website. So it's really looking at these 3 things, and you want to start getting specific on what is the most important thing, because you might only have time to get one thing done. So we're really asking you to get specific is imagine at the end of the summer, what would you be most proud of if you got done? What is the most important thing to you? Because you can kind of start from there and then expand outwards from there. So it's going to be hard because one thing sounds impossible, but what is that thing that you'd be most proud of at the end of the summer?
Oh, that's such a hard thing to like narrow it down, but I feel like it really does provide you with so much clarity. And I just think of summer as a time to be extra intentional, but set the bar low so that you can enjoy and relax. So being extra intentional about those precious priorities and what you want to get done will help you still feel great about, hopefully relaxing and going at a slower pace, right? And really leaning into that time of spontaneity and that time of joy that we hope that you're all going to experience in the summer.
I know for me this summer, I have sort of these 3 projects that I want to work on. And these, I've narrowed it down to these 3 things. But when I think of my one thing, I have a show in September and I really want to have 2 large drawings done for that. And because I have that deadline of September, they have to get done. So for me, that is going to be my number one focus. And that really helps me just like prioritize how I want to work on things and where I need to start with my time. So I've already found this process quite helpful.
I already know too. My number one thing I want to get done this summer is paint a mural on my studio. I've been wanting to do that for like a year, and I'm like, that's going to be my priority this summer.
That's the number one.
And how nice to only have that one big thing and to be the thing that I'm going to work on.
Both of the things we're talking about are big things. And I think that's what we forget. It's like the website example, but a mural, there's like plan, prep, materials, painting it. It's quite a big project, but we tend to just put these on our to-do list and it's a little bit flippant.
Yep.
So having that one priority, you kind of can narrow down all the steps that it takes to get those big things done.
Absolutely. Okay, number 4, our 4th way to set yourself up for a great summer is to start now. So we've asked our members this question: what can you do today to help your summer self? This could be prepping materials. It could be starting work that you're going to continue on in this summer. We talk a lot about kind of thinking and caring for your future self and how you can break your studio practice up into multiple stages. So if I was going to work on a quilt this summer, I might prep the fabric. I might, sketch out my quilt plan. Of course, I've just said I'm going to work on a mural hopefully this summer. So really getting clear on the design of the mural and picking paint colors might be something I could do ahead of time to, only have sort of the actual job of painting the mural as my work this summer.
And I think this is so important. I love it because right now I feel like I'm in sort of this limbo time because summer hasn't really kicked off for me, but I know it's coming. And so it's sort of this feeling of what do I get done? But now that I know my number one goal are these drawings, I actually need to go get some paper. I need to make sure I have all the materials. So it actually gets the ball rolling because I'm super clear on my one focus. So
yes.
Yeah. And what's our final step, Kaylan? The final step of the episode.
Okay, this is one you taught me, and I love this so much. Number 5, set your end of summer date. I think this goes back to this idea of a closing ritual, of having these boundaries around your summer. When is summer starting and when is summer ending for you?
I think it's just hard at the beginning to think about it ending, but having this date in mind is going to help you so much with just the whole transition of the entire time.
Yeah, and for us, we know that August 15th is the day that we have our first art and tea back in community, and then we are jumping into our September art residency. So we have this like community plan for when we're planning on wrapping up summer things. But I think it's just helpful, many parents, maybe the day that summer ends for you is the first day your kids are back in school. Or maybe it's the day after that, because you should take a day to still be in summer mode by yourself. My husband and I often go out to brunch on that day. It feels like a good day to wrap up summer and, reflect. But I think just this idea of like having strong boundaries around our work life, around our summer life, around whatever season we're in, and marking those boundaries with rituals to wrap it up, to say that was a great summer, but now we're on to fall and we've got new things, and we're not just going to be in this messy middle all the time of not really knowing where we are in the season. I think having boundaries around our seasons is really helpful.
Yeah, it's creating that container for the summer work and kind of giving it a label that this is summer work, and it's different. Like fall just feels like you're right back to it. So I love this. It starts here and it ends here, and here's my 3 priorities, and here's my number 1 focus. That gives a lot of constraints, and we need that as creatives.
Well, it helps you really lean hard into summer because you realize how precious it is, because it's not going to last forever, right? So when you know exactly, I've only got 6 weeks here or whatever it is, you really want to try to be present and soak it up. So I'm excited for our community sabbatical. We always prioritize taking a month off from our network programming in July. And I'm also excited to get back at it after we experience that sabbatical. So I think I love that we try to lean into the seasons together and move as a rhythm as a community, because it's really powerful to be in that flow together.
Yeah, and when we come back after our summer of fun and art making, or maybe not art making, we jump into our community art residency program. So if you're kind of looking to get plugged into an active and vibrant community, you just need to visit thrivetogethernetwork.com and you can join us. And there's a 2-week free trial, so you can try it. But maybe this is a good goal for you, set up the summer and then come back and get right back to it, because we're going to jump into our residency, which is really exciting.
Absolutely. So, come find your people. We believe that we are your people, a community of artists who are doing the work and who are trying to live in the moments and be human beings in the process. So as always, Jamie and I are here from you. We are cheering you on, and we believe in the work that you are doing as thriving artists.